First, we mark the top length of 17.5 inches on two different points and rule a line across. With a line, demarcate the front and the back block. You do this by dividing your largest measurement by 2 and adding 3 inches to that. You can go ahead to label the back block B and the front block F. The shoulder measurement divided by 2 here is 7.5. Place that on the front block and the back block. From the shoulder line, mark your chest line. Here it is 9 inches. Rule a line across your chest line. Place the shoulder measurement again on the chest line to get the armhole line straight. Slope the front shoulder by 1 inch and the back by 0.5 inch. For the neck measurement, mark the width for the front and the back as 3 inches and the depth for the front and the back as 3 inches as well. With the help of a French curve, draw the neckline. With a straight line, connect the shoulder slope to the neck width. Next, get the mid armhole from the shoulder slope to the chest line divided by 2. Here we have it to be 4 inches. Mark 4 inches on the back armhole and the front armhole respectively. On the mid armhole of the back, go in by 0.5 inch and on the mid armhole for the front, come in by 1 inch. With a straight line, connect the mid armhole to the shoulder slope. On the front block, come down from the chest line by 1.5 inch to create your bust span line. Rule a line across, and on the back block, come down from the chest line by 1 inch. That will be the starting point of the dart. Next, on the chest line for the back block, divide the bust measurement by 4. Here it is 9 inches. And on the waistline, divide the waist measurement by 4. Here it is 7.5 inches. Add 1 inch seam allowance to this for the darts. In a similar way for the front block, on the chest line, divide the bust measurement by 4 and the waist measurement by 4. Connect the sides with a straight line for the front block and the back block. With the French curve, connect from the mid armhole to the chest line to complete the armhole curve. The 4 inch from the chest line to the mid armhole also represents the dart. Place the 4 inch on the waistline from the center front and also place it on the bust span line. On the back block as well, place the 4 inch on the dart starting point line and place the 4 inch also on the waistline. Next, open up the dart legs by 0.5 inch on either side of the 4 inch points for the back block and the front block. Connect the dart legs to the bust point for the front block and the back block as shown. With a slight curve, connect the armhole princess dart line from the dart leg to the armhole as shown. Extend the armhole princess dart by 1 inch, which is the 1 inch used to open the dart legs, and recreate your armhole. Create the armhole princess dart line for the front block as done for the back block. The neckline will be altered. Make the width 4 inches by placing 1 inch after the 3 inch standard neckline first created for the front block and the back block. Go ahead to redraw the neckline. Cut the pattern paper, first the shoulder line, next the demarcation line between the front and the back block. Place a fresh pattern paper on the center front, the width measuring about 6 inches. This extension is for the overlap. For this project, we will be working with 5 inches. Connect a straight line from the neck width to the 5 inches extension. To eliminate gaping, at the point where the line crosses the center front, create a dart. Mark a straight line from the bust point to the break point. Open up the dart by 0.25 on either side of the line. With a straight line, draw the dart legs. Cut through the waist dart. Stop at the bust point. Close the new dart created as shown. Once the dart is closed, the extended line is misaligned. With a straight line, reconnect the line. Cut the extended line, the shoulder line, the dart line to the armhole princess dart, the armhole curve, and the side line. Cut the armhole tightening line, the remaining dart leg, and the front block is complete. Moving on to the back block, cut the armhole princess dart line, the armhole tightening line, the neckline, the shoulder line, the remaining dart leg, and the side. Dear sew enthusiast, here is the pattern set to be transferred to fabric. Pin the pattern paper on fabric. Add 0.5-inch seam allowance on every other area but the sides. On the sides, add 1.5 inches to 2 inches as preferred for your seam allowance. When you are done cutting the fabric, cut the lining fabric the same way, then we go ahead to cut the sleeves. The sleeves fabric is placed on 4 folds and the length of the sleeve is 16 inches. Rule a line across. The length of the armhole is 9 inches. Here, for the sleeves width, I'm making use of 10 inches. The remaining 5 inches is to create more volume for the sleeves gathers. The width of this sleeve is 15 inches. Rule a line after the 5 inches mark. Come down from the sleeve starting point by 5 inches. With the help of your French curve, create the S curve for the sleeve as shown. Cut out the sleeve. The upper part of the sleeve will have a loose stitch to create gathers, and the bottom part will have an elastic channel to pass in a 1-inch elastic. Cut out the belt measuring 5 inches width by 120 inches length. It is time to couple the pieces, starting with the lining piece for the front. Sew the princess dart lines by 0.5 inch for both the lining piece and the main fabric. In the same way, come in with the lining piece for the back. Sew the princess dart lines by 0.5 inch. Repeat the same process for the main fabric. This wrap top can be styled interchangeably, so ignore the usage of back and front. At the end of the video, you will see how. When you are done coupling the back piece, create a couple of notches on the curved area of the princess dart lines. Sew the neckline by 0.5 inch. Notch around the neckline to release any tension. Flatten out the fabric. Top stitch the seam lines of the neckline on the lining piece. When you're done with the neckline, flip it down back in place and the back piece is ready. Moving on to the front piece, create a couple of notches once again on the princess dart line for the main fabric and the lining. Place the main fabric and the lining right side on right side. Sew the extended line for the wrap effect by 0.5 inch as shown. Repeat the same process on the other side of the front piece. It is time to join the shoulder. Place the right side of the back on the right side of the front piece. Bring out only the lining piece of the front, placing it over the back shoulder as shown. Sew by 0.5 inch. Repeat the same process on the other shoulder. Next, sew the sides by the seam allowances added. From the top's hem, go upward by 2.5 inch to create a gap for the belt hole. Mark the stop point for the belt hole of about 0.75 inch from the hem. This makes the space created about 1.75 inches. From the armhole, come down by 1 inch to create a space to sew in the sleeve. Sew from the 1 inch starting point. Backstitch at the beginning point of the belt hole. Skip the space. Finish up by backstitching again. On the other side, come down from the armhole by 1 inch, but this time sew all the way to the hem. When you are done sewing, go back to the side with the belt hole. Make a 4-corner top stitch around the belt hole area to keep it in place. Moving on to the sleeve, go up by 3 inches from the sleeve hem, fold by half an inch and by 1 inch, matching up with the 3 inches line created. Top stitch very close to the fold from one end to the other. At the top of the sleeve, sew a loose stitch around the S curve from one end to another. When you are done sewing, pull on a thread to create gathers. Next, cut out the elastic for the sleeve's hem. You will need 10 inches in 2 places. With the help of a safety pin, pass the elastic through the elastic channel. Place the belt piece on fold to get the middle. Place it on fold again. Create a notch to be able to identify both sides. Next, match up the side seams of the top to get your center back Highlight the center back with a fabric marker or a chalk. Next, place the right side of the belt on the wrong side of the top. The middle of the belt is matching up with the center back. Sew by 0.5 inch from the middle to the center front and from the middle to the other center front. Do well to bend in your side seam allowances as you sew across. The belt will be top stitched on the right side of the top as shown, but first turn the belt inside out. Grab the end of the belt, place right sides together and close by 0.5 inch. Next, sew the side of the belt by 0.5 inch. Stop at the main center front as shown. From this point, you go ahead to turn the belt inside out. Next, top stitch the belt on the right side of the top. Remember, you are to fold in 0.5 inch as you top stitch, very close to the fold. Stop few inches before reaching the other side. Sew the belt by 0.5 inch, turn inside out, then complete the top stitch process. On the armhole, retrim if the fabric is not well aligned. Now it is time to set in the sleeve. Here I am showing you the elastic has been inserted on the sleeve's hem. Place the right side of the sleeve on the right side of the top. Sew by 0.5 inch and stop at about 5 inches stitch length. Continue sewing from the other armhole. This is to ensure the gathers on the sleeve is evenly spread around the armhole. When the sleeve is properly secured, turn inside out to close the sides. Sew by 0.5 to 1 inch. Repeat the same process inserting the sleeve on the other armhole. Here I am showing you how the belt will pass through the side hole and be tied to the back or the front as preferred. Here's a quick demo on how you can style this top in 2 ways. The wrap can be either at the back or in front. If this tutorial was helpful, please drop a comment, like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell for more videos. Bye!